Cowboys at Packers, Sunday Night Football. Marco, what your bettors be looking at?
Well, we finally may have the flip-flop of public perception where they've just finally hit rock bottom with Dallas, and they finally got them just overvalued as far down as they could be. I mean,
Overvalued. You mean you think that the valuation is to the point where they're finally undervalued?
Right, rock bottom, as low as you can go with the Dallas Cowboys. And on the flip side right now, given the last 2 weeks of Green Bay's games, the stock is back up on Green Bay to the point where it was at the beginning of the season, talking about playoff Super Bowl with Green Bay, because they beat Minnesota on a Sunday night game 2 weeks ago, and then turned around, went into the Jets, which has been everybody's team, the darling this year, and shut them out 9-0. And this is a Green Bay defense that's been, trashed most of the year.
So really what I'm hearing is this is a pure value play. You got the Cowboys finally undervalued in your mind. Packers perhaps overvalued. Thus it's a simple mathematical play. Maybe this line should be 6.5 or 7. You're getting 9.
And given that it is a Sunday night game, and that is the only reason it's on the video this week, because if this was on the regular schedule, we would not be talking about this game. But that's another point about value. Vegas knows that these TV games, the Sunday night and the Monday night games, are the most bet games of the week. You got people trying to get even for Sunday on the Sunday night game.
So what you're saying is the line is built more for all NFL games get a lot of action, but the Sunday night game gets even more. The line has a little more public bias in it.
Right, and normally that bias would be to a Dallas Cowboy team, as you've noted 100 times. That is the marquee team.
But there can actually be a boomerang effect when you have a team that's bet as much as Dallas is. Week after week, not only are you losing your money, but you're not even in the game. Imagine the mentality of someone that said Dallas can't lose to the Jaguars, and then you're laying 6.5 or whatever, you end up getting beat by 20-some points. At some point, you're not going to bet on them anymore.
Right. You're right. And then take that to the post-game comments of Wade Phillips, where in his, he literally said he said, I don't know what to do. He literally said, I don't know what to do. If I knew what to do, I would have done it already. And then you go one step further. Jerry Jones says to the media, he apologizes to the fans, makes it, for the embarrassment of his team. Now, if you're a player on that Dallas Cowboy team, I know the season's gone and you got nothing to play for, but you're playing on a national spotlight on a Sunday night. If you got one more game left in you,
give us your projection, because I think we're going to do a bet.
Okay, I'm going to take Dallas plus the points here against Green Bay. I vowed myself that I wouldn't be involved in another Dallas game the rest of the season. And then when I'm preparing for the videos this week, lo and behold, this is a Sunday night game, and I got to do it for our audience.
All right, so I don't know if you know this, because you live in the rich part of town, so you don't drive my way very often. But I'm actually thinking about I'm a big movie fan. I'm thinking about having a little bedroom turned into a movie room. I'm going to call it the Cowboy Room, because betting against the Cowboys is funding the room. So I'm ready. I think you're right.
I thought you were going to do something else in that room. You're right. When you said the Cowboy Room.
I think you're right. Is that Dallas is underrated, but I think that we're missing something. We got low character guys on this team. If this was week 1, I agree, taking a 9 would be gold, because low character guys, when they still think they can make the Super Bowl, and again, I'm generalizing. I'm not saying this guy's low character, that guy, but in general, this isn't the Steelers. This isn't the kind of team that faces adversity well. Mm-hmm. If they get blown out by the Jags at home, how aren't they getting blown out by Green Bay? And Green Bay's not gonna lighten up here. So they're playing America's team. So if you've got your projection, if you're ready to back up, I'm ready to do a nickel or a dime on it. We haven't had a bet for a while.
We haven't.
But do you want it?
Well, considering
I don't hear a yes. Put the face to the head up. Yes or no?
Yes, we'll do it. We'll do it for a nickel.
Do you want a nickel or let's do a dime?
No, because I won the first 2 when they were a nickel, so we'll just keep it at a nickel. Let you earn your way back, because I still have.
All right, so we got our bet. Now let's talk a little bit. Vegas has given up on the Cowboys, as you see in the line. I've never seen an adjustment this extreme in 1 week. Even with Kitna, they had the Cowboys as the 14th best team last week. and now they're the 24th best team. Now, I've seen pretty extreme adjustments in week 1 or week 2. We're halfway through the season, and they're saying this team goes down 10 notches in 1 week. So I think that's interesting. It speaks to why the line is what it is. Now, I'm not sure how much this matters because I think this is a purely motivational pick, but the home team has covered 8 of 9 games in this. So, let's throw that out there for what it's worth. Question is, let me see how I want to ask this. Well, let me ask you. I'm going to think about what I was going to say there. Do you have any other closing points, and then we can close with mine?
Well, I do. What's lost here is, given, as you said, the overreaction to last week's game, John Kitna did not have a bad game last week. They had 4 turnovers, but if you actually watch that game, 2 of the interceptions that he had were not his fault at all. They were the receivers' faults. Right in their hands, they tipped the ball up in the air. But again, bad things happen to bad teams. I know that. The other thing I'm going to point out, other than last week's loss by how much they did, Dallas has not lost a game this year by this spread, 9 points, until last week. Green Bay, until last week, winning by 9, has not won a game by more than 9 points this year. And I will point one thing that they had an advantage last week, Green Bay, against the Jets, that's lost in this. The Jets were coming off a bye week. And I know we always talk about the bye week and preparation and everything else, how it's a plus. When everything is going well for a team, to me, the bye week is like a coach in basketball calling a timeout when the other team is on a run. It is a momentum stopper, and that was an advantage that Green Bay had last week. So I think this is a total overreaction. They've made it too much in the penalizing Dallas for being America's team. Everybody's seeing them air their dirty laundry. The team has quit. The coach doesn't know what to do, and Jerry Jones is embarrassed. I've got value here.
I think I agree with you. I just don't think that you can quantify with numbers a team giving up, because a team giving up can lose by 40. I think at some point I would rather have right now the Buffalo Bills, which in most power rankings are the worst team, even though they play. I'd rather have the Bills getting 9 here than the Cowboys, because though the Cowboys have a lot more talent, I think there's a 50% chance they lose this game by 40. Now, we always talk about this. Whenever you have a high variable game like this, it could go, let's be honest, if the Cowboys really played, they could win this game. You don't want to tease a game like this. This could be a game, and some places have reverse teasers. I think this is a game where if you're right and they are motivated, there's probably value with the 9. I think it's a game that they could lose, like I said, by 20 plus. You don't want to tease games where points aren't really valuable, and in a game like this, they're not. All right. Now it's your turn to continue the conversation in the comments section with Marco and me. And next up, we're going to be breaking down the last game of the week, Monday Night Football.